Speaking of the music, the intro track.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck me, brother.
When I rewatched it, I was watching it on my computer speakers, and I actively got up, went over to my Xbox, unhooked my headset, and put on my headset to fucking full volume, and I was dancing around my room. I fucking love that intro, dude. That shit bangs. Like,
my man Kosei bled like several times in the show. Like
out,
he
bro.
just gets headbutted.
Episode 1, he gets sauced by the baseball. Like later on,
he had like several concussions.
So it being my third watch through, I now will like tear up like before things happen as opposed to while they're happening.
Pussy.
Right.
That's the episode I rewatched that I cried at again. 4 for 4, baby.
4 for 4. 444. Anyways.
Okay. Just chill
4
out.
for 4 at Wendy's.
Chill out.
So I guess we are getting into garbage hot takes.
I feel like
I know.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to episode 23 of the Unboxing Life podcast. I'm Cameron. I'm one of your 4 hosts for today. And for the other 3, we got Alex.
What's going on, everybody?
David.
Hey guys and everybody, what's up?
And Treasure.
What's going on, baby boys?
All right. So today we're going to be diving directly into the plot, our feelings and plot discussion of Your Lie in April, the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see from the title, obviously. So,
Yeah. Our first official episode of Anime Box for the people out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
For
right.
all our new listeners, shout out to you. I hope you guys stay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we will get into our traditions, and then right after that, we're going to jump into Your Lie in April. So who would like to go first for their tradition? Trevor looks like he's
Let's just
raring to
go
go.
ahead and jump into it.
How about Alex?
All right.
All right.
Go ahead, Alex.
I actually
organized.
came up with this joke.
Okay.
It hit me the
Oh.
other day.
You
Okay.
came up with
Yeah,
So
Dang.
Amo
So-
original?
it's an original.
Dang.
Is this
Oh, no,
your
good.
way of telling us that you're not your dad? Like, did you get someone pregnant?
Not quite yet, my boys.
Alright.
But
All right.
so what did the rapper Famous Dex write to Santa Claus this year?
Something along the lines of "Hose mad."
Ho ho ho's mad.
Yeah.
Nice.
Woo! Oh god, I
Good.
knew it.
Good job. I like the originality.
Jesus fuck.
All right. I'll go next because I feel like following that.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is we're keeping up with the themed facts for the themed episodes as opposed to the variety ones. So this one is pertaining to classical music, as that is a massive theme in Your Lie in April, obviously.
Nice.
So, musical performer Adriana Ferrarese del Bene was known for nodding her head down on low notes and raising her head on high notes. Mozart disliked her so much that he wrote a song for her to perform that had lots of jumps from low to high, just so that he could see her head, quote, bob like a chicken on stage.
Just
Dang.
headbanging to classical music.
Yep. So he hated this singer, so he was just like, I'm gonna completely fuck with her and make her sing a song that makes her go like that.
She was a singer. Oh wow.
Oh, she was a singer. Okay, she's
Yeah,
not
she was a
pianist.
singer. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm sitting here doing this bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mozart,
funny.
Mozart composed a lot of different stuff. So.
dope.
All right.
Dope, man. Yeah.
Before we go on, I want us to like show off our little Christmas sweaters.
Oh, yeah.
Mid
Oh,
tradition,
yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
what's
I'm
up?
rocking.
It's
So we all got
Christmas week.
hats.
Yeah, so we're all rocking
Being
little
festive.
Christmas Santa hats.
Let's send him.
Week of
Happy
Christmas.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Then
is
I got-
December 18th that we are recording. So yeah, every
Happy
snack you
holidays.
make, every meal you bake, every bite you take, I'll be watching you.
Oh,
You have to read
okay.
it.
Classic.
Shout out to 12. Actually, no shout out to the 12. But
The band The Police is what we're talking about. The
Jesus
song.
Christ. Yeah, the
Police, that's right.
the police, the band, not
Okay.
actual 12. Yeah, but I used to have a yellow lab that whenever we ate family dinner, he would literally just sit in the corner and just stare, and he would just little head tilt and just like maybe a little bit of drool, and as soon as anything hit the floor, he was just in action. He was vacuuming that shit up. Yeah, so
Heck yeah,
Rest
dude.
A lot of
Peace,
dog
Max.
owners can speak to that.
Rest in peace. Yeah, man.
I'm never doing that again.
What do you got? What do you got, Trevor?
I have the knockoff Coca-Cola Polar Bear.
nice.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. It
It's
wraps
pretty
all
dope.
around. I am returning
Dope.
this after we're done because it doesn't fit me
Oh my lord.
very well. So
Pretty dope.
the
Doesn't have
sleeves
to
aren't
fit
as
you.
long as I would like it, but it's pretty
Mm.
nonetheless.
Well, you got it for the
Yeah.
episode, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it works for this.
Alex, I see you're rocking the Illuminati.
The
Illuminati. Nah, bro.
Oh,
Mickey
yeah.
Mouse.
There you go. There you go. Disney baby.
Mickey Mouse. You know I have to do it to him.
You got the Nightmare
pretty
Before
comfortable.
Christmas
My soul and my
as well.
body.
set? Dang.
And
Very
David,
nice.
what are you wearing?
I have a black
Oh,
sweater.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm festive as heck,
Showing up to
boys.
family Christmas, absolutely dripping, just
Yeah.
Jesus.
killing it.
I don't have any Christmas shirts, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, besides this one, I don't really have much of anything. I mean, I think I have like a standard red sweater that I would wear instead, but yeah,
Mhm.
I'm in the same boat as you mostly.
So we all decked out. You will
Yep.
be hearing one of these on Christmas. If we throw it up that morning, which we should.
Maybe some of you will be hearing it on your brand new devices, whatever you get for
That'd be
Christmas.
For sure, for sure.
Sure.
Anyways. All right.
Alright.
So-
that was a great fun fact. I like the head bobbing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess relating to that, I'll do my track of the week,
Very nice.
which is from I mean it's not
Segway
from it.
Kings.
Yeah, it's I did Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata Movement 3,
Okay.
dropped back in 1802, I think.
Drop.
Drop.
Classic.
Yo, you dropped that on y'all head
release.
tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it it was a big hit, I think. Actually, I don't know, but this is at the beginning. It's the very first scene of Your Lie in April. Your boy's playing it, and he's like, "Dang!"
The
And
King
it's I
Kose.
did it because, yeah, and it's one of my favorite classical music pieces, and I didn't want to throw out one of the later ones because I figured we'd be talking about some of the stuff anyway. But give it a listen. The whole Moonlight Sonata is dope, but the third movement is fuego, my guys. It's very intense, very chaotic. You've probably heard it before and you don't know. It's a good,
Yeah, for
good
sure.
listen.
For sure.
Yeah, there's no way you haven't heard it in some movie or show or something at some point. So, but it's a good listen just by itself, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Cool.
All right.
And keeping with the times, I guess I have a Your Lie in April quote.
Spoiler
It's
alert,
from-
maybe.
Huh?
This whole
Saying
episode is a spoiler.
Yeah, I
alert.
mean, the
Yeah.
whole episode we're just
Yeah.
gonna spoil. So
If you clicked on this, spoiler.
Yeah,
That's just
don't
all-
watch
all we're
it.
gonna
You
do.
care about that if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go cry and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
You might cry a
Alright.
couple times, but anyways. So this is from Kaori. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Kaori Miyazono.
Kaori? Yeah. Miyazono. We're all afraid, to get up on stage. Maybe you'll mess up. Maybe they'll totally reject you. Even so, you grit your teeth and get up on stage anyway.
Heck yeah.
Nice little dose of morning coffee and inspiration for you.
Yes,
Very, very
dude.
nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
she's
with that out of the way, we're gonna jump into it. I guess we're just gonna jump into it. I'm
Mhm.
gonna break my chair.
That we are. I think we
She's
should start
probably-
off by clarifying the first watchers versus the people who have already watched it, which I believe is
Oh,
me
yeah.
versus you three.
Yeah, Cameron had seen this before. None of us had.
Yeah, I got put onto it by Miss Rocio.
Mhm.
She,
You guys watched
she
it together.
really likes his album. Yeah, album.
Album.
She likes his album.
Dope.
No, yeah, she watched it way back and she put me onto it, and yeah,
Mm.
we watched most of it together. I didn't get to watch I think episodes like 15 through like 20, and then I saw the last 2 with her. But
you watched those by yourself?
Yeah, half of it we had to do over the phone, and I was crying in my bed alone, which was really awful. But
yeah,
that's rough.
And I do not recommend doing that because that was very painful. The show is very painful.
I'll say this is actually interesting. This is the first anime I've had to watch for this show because I've seen them all before just by happenstance. I'd already seen them. So we I cried alone like 4 times in this show.
Which parts made you cry though?
So we can definitely get into that.
That's gonna be like one of my major talking points at least.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I was gonna say,
I'll have
Alex
to
have
say,
his
my
bit
boy,
before we go that far.
I have to say, no pickles of mine was tickled during the watching of this anime. I did not really enjoy it that much. I'll have to be honest.
Okay.
We could get into those reasons. The music is dope. I love the music.
I have a hot take on the music.
There's a lot of things that really bothered me with this. I guess I don't know.
Damn.
Well, if we're getting into really awful hot takes, then
I guess
because that is an awful take.
I guess we can segue there.
The musical performances, those segments were my least favorite part of the show by far.
Interesting.
By far, not even close,
dude.
If it was a complete total slice of life and those were cut out, I'd be perfectly fine with the show.
I feel like so
I guess we are getting into garbage hot takes.
I feel like I feel like that's kind of the part where it's kind of like confusing because it's like it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, does it want to be a music anime with like competitions and shit, or does it want to be like this romance?
It's romantic.
Anime about.
It's a blended mix.
Has an identity crisis.
Absolutely not. First of all, no. We're getting into this. I mean, if we have opportunities, we're going to argue.
It's going to be more entertaining than I thought it was.
We're going to argue about this. The show is about musicians and them falling in love and progressing as people, and they do that through music.
Yes.
It's not like it's not supposed to be a shonen thing, and then it like goes off the rails or something. Like,
to be fair, it does have shonen elements where it where they have like, especially when they do that little duet. That was really cringe. The little girl, it's Blonde Boy's little sister who plays just to impress him. They do a duet together, and it's like they're quote unquote battling each other, and they're sitting right next to each other, and they're just like, I'm not gonna let you have this spotlight, and they're just like, but it didn't really translate very well for me.
Every note he plays is a battle cry.
I mean, that's kind of a real thing though.
Absolutely.
It's all completely based on real musical stuff that happens. Like, classical performers put so much into like every note they play and like the timbre and the dynamics of it that like they absolutely do that all the time. It wasn't like I didn't come across as like goofy or over the top. Like, some of the stuff is kind of over the top. Like when he starts playing well and like everyone in the audience notices immediately that like he's changed. Like, that's kind of unrealistic.
Even, dude, yeah. I guess another one of my least favorite parts is like every time the adults would critique these teenagers that are playing, like, "Oh, how fucking dare you like play that wrong?"
Well,
like,
they definitely do that.
That's realistic.
But it was so cringe.
My ears are ringing. It's
real.
Chopin, Solitude,
so
in E minor.
It's supposed to be that ridiculous. It's supposed to be that ridiculous because it's completely realistic.
The exact environment they're growing up in. Yeah, especially if you're like supposed to be a prodigy and you have these parents forcing you to do it, it's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how it came up to me. So.
Yeah, but if something's depicting real life,
the wrong way though is what we're saying. Is it's supposed to be like, wow, this is like an insane environment, but it's a very realistic and like consistent environment with what actually goes on in these types of environments and the real kids growing up trying to become prodigies.
Like, they're stuffy jerks, and then the kids like find out that they just should be playing for themselves basically and expressing their own emotions, so they sort of go against the like playing just by the numbers thing.
Yeah, which is Kaori's like whole motive, like especially when he realizes that she has a terminal illness and she wants to play out she wants to play.
Yeah, but I thought the performance scenes some of them were just amazing and beautiful and so well written.
Definitely.
I don't know. I guess. Well,
I'm glad
I don't know.
you enjoyed it because I don't know. There's just a huge disconnect for me with the music. It didn't really hit me.
But it was so much part of the story. That's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like,
no, I can connect to the vein of connecting with people through music, but just the actual music that they were playing was for me.
you just don't like classical.
Well, when I said originally
Not a
that I
big
liked the
fan.
music, I meant like the background music, like when they're not actually playing the piano, like all the
original
environmental music.
soundtrack.
Yeah, like
yeah,
that a
that's
lot.
good too.
Okay,
That stuff's good too.
I thought you were gonna say you hated
Yeah.
that too.
I'd be committing murder at that point. That would be, your life would be in danger. But yeah.
I mean,
Allegedly.
yeah. We should definitely, on these episodes, we should get our criticisms out of the way as well. Like, I didn't think it was perfect either. I feel like
Yeah, I mean, it was like a solid 7 for me until like the last 3 episodes. I'm not gonna lie, but those last 3 episodes hit like a fuck, brother. I will
Okay.
tell you that
Yeah.
much.
Let's not
And
go
then-
Holy
straight there.
shit.
Let's talk about other moments first, I think.
so.
But,
For sure, man.
all right.
Y'all stunned me. I'm
just
stunned.
saying. I don't know. First, I mean,
It's
first
not
of all,
fun if we all just come in here and orgasm
No,
about it.
It's totally fine. Yeah. I'm
They're-
just like, dang.
They're middle schoolers, number one. Which
Mhm.
is
Yeah, they're
like
14.
they're very complex middle schoolers. Like, you know what type of stuff I was worried about in middle school? I was like trying to figure out what kind of wood I'm gonna build my Minecraft house out of. You know,
They would be.
I was-
they would be
I was trying to
freshman
get
year.
home
They
and,
would be-
and
they would be
complete
freshman year
camo
high school
challenges
here.
on Call of Duty.
They would be
Yeah,
freshman year
so-
of high school here. So
Right.
then it
Yeah.
was like a little weird with like certain like when Kosei was
I don't-
tutoring the blonde
I
boys.
don't
Bro.
wait. I don't think they were in high school though. They were.
No,
they were
it's
because
applying
just,
for it.
the way the Japanese schooling system works is that you do like it's here we would have like 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and 9th grade is the start of high school. For them, that's the last year of middle school, and then they do 3 years of high school, and that would be our 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. But for them, it's the first year, second year, and third year of high school. So they would be high school freshmen here.
But they were
Yeah, for-
applying to those schools.
no, he's just saying they're that age. They're like
Yeah,
14, 15.
You don't
Okay,
age
that's what you're
out of
saying.
age
Yeah,
out
they're
of
not in-
middle school until you're. That's why I'm saying they would be high school here. They're middle schoolers
Yeah.
in Japan.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But-
And then it was like weird to me with like because when Kosei was tutoring the blonde kid's little sister, he's like
Mhm.
what are you doing with my little sister? And I'm like, this is a child. They're like, she's like,
You know, the funny thing is that she's not a child. She's like 12 or 13.
I know,
Like
but,
she,
but
compared to them, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
she-
like
I'm like
she's-
a child. I don't know.
She comes off as a total child for sure.
I
Like,
know.
I thought she was 10 the whole time, and
I-
then she's like
yeah.
13. She's like a grade below Kosei, and I'm just like, Kosei looks like he looks like an adult compared to that chick.
yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely cringing because
That
They
was
do.
really bad.
they do that a lot. But then I was like, okay, well, at least she is just actually 1 year younger. They just sort of made her look super young for some reason, which I mean, 13 is super young, but then
Absolutely.
they look older than her. So it's like, I don't know. It was weird.
I will say for Watari's character, it was nice that they did that pervy character right. Like he was
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
he was a horny, funny little kid. Like it wasn't over the top. It was done very tastefully. Like you have to, honestly, you kind of have to critique that because every anime has that character.
Yeah.
Right.
So I enjoyed his
Brand of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
just like a ladies' man, and he like respected all the girls, but he just sort
Yeah.
of wanted to like date a bunch of different girls. But he was also like a good friend and stuff. I really liked that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean he let him like pursue his love for his girlfriend. Like he was with her the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I love his line of like the girl will let you know. Like I think they say it like 3 times, and it means 3 different things each time, and it's super cool. And I thought, yeah, the characters were really well realized. I like how the dialogue always felt like. I will say, like with the blonde little sister, like some of the dialogue was so like adult and like poetic sounding, and she'd be like, you're looking at this 2-year-old looking kid, like, all right, come on, like it went there a little bit sometimes, but overall, I feel like the dialogue was, even though it was super like poetic, it still kind of made sense for 14-year-olds or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It teetered on that edge of being
Yeah.
way too adult
Yeah,
versus what they were, but
I think so.
I'll
the
take-
visuals of the show were great. I think the color palette was very, very soothing.
Yeah.
The transition
kiss.
slide where they would like cut between like the 10-minute segments of the episodes where it had
Yep.
like the cherry blossoms in the pond or whatever, and they had like the little quotes. That was really pretty. I'm a sucker for cherry blossom themes, so that was a A+ for me.
Yeah, man. When he would do the performances, especially that one in the middle of the show when he's like doing it and thinking of him practicing with Kaori, and it's like you get the cherry blossom trees like on the stage with him or whatever. That was dope.
Yep.
Yeah, they do the visuals well,
Yeah,
even though they're kind of subtle.
They do the other visuals of him like playing underwater. That metaphor of him not being able to hear his own notes feels like he's underwater and he's slamming the keys and the keys are barely making any noise and the bubbles are going up and he's like just goes deeper and deeper and the light fades away. All those sort of designated. They animate the piano exceptionally well. Like it's not. It doesn't look like,
I paid attention to that a lot.
It looks more like 3D animation than it does like drawn 2D stuff. So that's really cool.
almost.
I didn't like how the hands
violin.
looked, but I'm glad they went for it.
They animated it well though. It looked very smooth and it was in in sync very well.
Yeah,
because
they like
the parts that they did animate.
It would be extremely tough to like have a 4-minute piece of classical music and having to draw their fingertips for each note. It's nuts. They probably had to do so much background research.
An excruciatingly long amount of time to animate all that, and they do it for every time they play the piano.
Yeah.
And it's
like
remarkable.
7 times in the show.
Same thing with the violin and it like having it be the right tilt and having her and everyone else who plays the violin in the show like actually be playing the right notes and that everything lines up with the music and that like all the notes get played at the right time, like you said, being in sync. It must have taken an excruciatingly long amount of time, but it paid off for sure.
That's definitely something I liked about the show was they really care about music just in general. It seems like so they're
you
like
can tell it bleeds.
Yeah, like
it bleeds through the whole show.
The pieces they chose to express their emotions and how like we said, they go into detail of animating it. Like they're not just gonna have them sit there and do whatever. I was actually watching this YouTube video of like classical musicians reacting to classical music in anime, and like Your Lie in April, they said like got it right. And I was like, dang, that's what's up. So
every time I hear the name of the show, I just get so happy because I have so many like positive emotions captured by those last 3 episodes of the show.
What are you eating?
What?
What are you eating?
I'm eating a candy cane.
Nice.
I was like,
it's a little too big for my mouth.
For anyone on audio, they didn't see you open that up, so now you just like sound like you have something in your mouth.
Yeah, man. Dip. Hey, yo. Got dip in his mouth.
Dip.
Man.
Get the fuck out of here. I'll give every one of you permission to shoot me if you see me with dip.
All right. Gotcha.
Will do.
I wouldn't need your permission for that. No.
Yeah, facts. Thank you. Alex is a real
friend.
friend.
With the strap. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the strap.
I'm pulling up in about
like
40
50
minutes.
says, get the strap.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes. Yeah, I'll just wait here for my impending doom.
Yeah. Like, all right. I guess I'll accept it.
Jesus Christ.
So,
but yeah, back to this awful show.
Looping.
All right.
Looping back to the crying yes or no, Alex. Did you tear up any time at all? No, you're a heartless.
Really?
You're a heartless human being.
Well, he doesn't cry to not music. I keep saying music because I'm a fucking fiend. He doesn't cry to movies and shit. He's not emotional. He said that the last time he cried to a movie was what? Coco? And you didn't even cry?
I love Coco, bro. Coco
and that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I used to not be so emotional about entertainment, but I'd cross some sort of bridge, I guess, at some point, and now I'm just like, the waterworks just happen.
I'm almost positive, it's going to sound really weird, but when you have a relationship with a woman, your emotional range will expand greatly. Like, before I met Rocio, I was just like you. Like, I watched, like, Pixar movies, and I didn't give a shit. You know, I was just, like, watching it, and like, oh, sad shit would happen. I wouldn't cry. The absolute second I fall in love with this chick, we start watching like Big Hero 6, Coco, all Wall-E. I cried at Wall-E. Like,
I didn't know. What did you cry about Big Hero 6?
That's
how?
At the beginning or something?
Like
no,
where?
Like when he thought he lost Baymax.
Oh yeah,
that shit was powerful.
Hopefully we're not spoiling Big Hero 6 for anyone out there because
that shit is 6 years old.
Go watch. But
yeah, get out of here.
I know loads of people who haven't. I mean, including me, that haven't watched like big name movies just
I
because
saw
they're
Big
not,
Hero
like, on
6 like a
Netflix or
month
anything,
ago or
but-
something. I saw it
Oh,
recently. Yeah.
well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that I didn't spoil it for you, but
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think there are different things that unlock. Like, if for me, it was just the past few years I started caring more. Well, no, I just I don't know. There are different ways to tap into that side of yourself if you want to, or just become that way or whatever. Not everyone's like that, but
for me
Yeah.
it was Rocio. She kind of
Yeah.
like had the key to the heart, as it were.
there you go.
It's really corny, but it's like
Amen.
there's just certain events that happen in your life that will expand your emotional range, and you'll start
Yeah.
crying at shit you never thought you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you just realize you're suppressing it.
I was watching a synopsis video of the anime earlier just to like recap and refresh my mind on it, and I cried again. Like when they started
I
talking
totally
about
get
the
it.
part that happened, I cried again, and it's like this show in particular gets my heart wrenched. Like it curls my heart in its palms, and it just squeezes it. It's so painful. It's such a powerful show.
On that topic, I wrote down in my notes in all caps that The Fault in Our Stars can go suck a dick, because this is the absolute epitome of teen romance tragedy, and you cannot tell me otherwise.
I haven't read Fault in Our
Yeah.
Stars, but I will get back to you when I do.
Yeah,
Have you seen the movie? I mean, obvious that it was everywhere. So,
But it's got
am I spoiling an
Anta
8-year-old movie for you
in
now?
it, so. No, dude, you could spoil it. I don't give a shit. Romance,
Well,
you can't really spoil. It's the same story over and over.
that's just not for people out there or whatever. Just I got you. Though.
I mean,
Yeah.
exactly how the tragedy occurs is the whole point, I guess. But
But yeah, this. So I don't know. Cameron was the first one to watch this, and you watched it again, and then that was like. Do you feel
So-
like more?
I watched it for the first time, I think, even when I was in high school. When did this? I don't even know when this released.
Like
This
It came out in
2014?
2014.
2014. So yeah, definitely when I was still in high school. That was when I was first getting into anime.
That was when I was in
This
high school, so
This was probably like
Mhm.
we.
the 5th anime or something like that I watched ever.
Wow.
And then I rewatched it in tandem with my college ex, who I'm now
With your
referring
college
to her,
ex.
I'm now referring to her as that, as opposed to continuing
Don't
to
do
say
that.
name.
That's not fair.
Why.
Just put the distance there if you want. You can
Yeah,
distance yourself.
That's mostly
You're
what the
above
point is,
college
and also,
now?
also so I
College
don't
ex.
just keep on
Nah,
saying
Graduate,
name.
don't know how to act.
Yeah, now you're a
Don't know
big
how to
man.
act.
It's not. is more about like giving her anonymity as opposed to me not wanting to say the name or something like that.
Well, you
Yeah.
just say
I mean,
your
we've said it
ex,
before. Like,
yeah.
they can go find it. Well, I guess college ex is a little. Yeah, so my ex. Well, I was trying to make the point that I was in college when it happened. So anyway,
Gotcha.
because now I'm graduated. Let's fucking
Leet.
go.
Definitely gonna talk
Yeet.
about that next episode.
Yeah,
Yeet,
that'll be the
motherfuckers.
next episode.
Congrats.
Yeah. So I watched it again. So that would have been like almost 3 years ago now. And then I wanted to. We were actually supposed to do this episode when in the same weekend that we did the Nightmare podcast, and I was in such a headspace grinding out finals, and I had stayed up for 36 hours and whatever, and like the day was coming closer that we were supposed to record, and because this is such a highly rated anime for me, I wanted to rewatch the whole thing again, and so I was like,
For the third time, ladies and
for
gentlemen.
the third time.
Three fucking times that he wanted to watch the
I
show.
cried the same spots still.
Oh,
So I wanted to watch the whole thing, but I was like, I'm just not in the right headspace. Like, this is gonna fuck with me so hard. So I was like, we need to delay this, because otherwise I'm literally just going to go into the deepest depression I've ever been in if I watch this show when I'm already on like a terrible mental health plane. So we ended up delaying it.
I delayed.
now.
I delayed it too. Yeah,
And I was actually able to enjoy the show properly, as opposed to it just like severely depressing me.
that's dope. So that's the thing. Like, it hits you just as hard every time, and you notice more things and whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that this is a show. I mean, when we were delaying it, and why Trevor was telling me, just watch a synopsis, it'll be fine. And it's like, I was like, no, this show is about the little things. It's about the details to me. It's about like the stuff you notice in their interactions, the mentioning, because they, especially with Kaori's illness, they like hint at it pretty slowly that it's like a terminal serious thing, not just that she has like a weak heart or something like that. Like, she like think it's like episode 2, she like collapses and has to be taken to the hospital or something. But it's always like, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. And then you see her in the bathroom with the pills and like all this stuff. And so it like they ramp up the seriousness of like she could be fucked. But you don't actually know that until very late in the show.
They do really well because I think episode 2 or whatever, like the first thing is just she's on the bus and like who is it? God dang it, Tsubaki. She's with Tsubaki. Tsubaki gets off. And then you see she's going to the next stop is the hospital, and she like presses the thing for like I'm getting off.
To
it's
get
like,
off, yeah.
Super subtle at first, and then
very subtle things like that. And then so it being my third watch through, I now will like tear up like before things happen as opposed to while they're happening.
Pussy.
Right.
So like because I know how everything ends, I'm like watching this, and Kaori makes her first appearance with the violin, and they talk about where is it? Freaking
For those who can't see, he's looking at his novel that he wrote.
I'm looking at my novel.
Novel.
Yeah,
Did she appear with the violin the first time, or is it like a weird?
It's episode 2. It's episode 2 when she comes out and she plays.
It was like a little keyboard, right?
And she starts and she starts like playing, and Kosei's in the audience. And they do the inner thoughts thing a lot with the subtitles, and he says, yes, this is the Kreutzer, but it no longer belongs to Beethoven. And I was like, go Kaori, let's fucking go.
Oh my god,
because she's fucking dope. She's actually like, and so I mean, I'll talk about why I love her character so much the further we go in, but yeah, that's my piece in terms of tearing up at the show, and just like. I rewatched just today, just the last episode where they have the final performance.
Jesus.
And I'm
still
just like
freaking masochist, my guy.
I know. I'm never touching that show again.
That's what I was thinking that too. Like
it's just art. It's fucking poetry. Every episode is just fucking because you talk about the way they speak, bordering on being too adult. But I say fuck the realism, give me the poetry, because it's like their whole bits about you exist inside of spring and like all this metaphor, and the show does a lot of visual metaphor, especially with the black cat and everything, and it's just
what's y'all's take on that?
Like most like almost every frame in the show is just stunning to look at.
What's y'all's take on the black cat?
Like, if is it his that's still alive, or just like another black cat?
Like, how do you feel about it?
I was thinking of that.
I don't think it's his cat.
I don't think it is either.
I think it's just another one that reminds him of Chelsea.
It's like his past catching up with him, and like that was like that pivotal moment where I'm pretty sure that's when he learns that she's terminal, right? And then like he's like crying and going back to his house, and then he finds the black cat.
Gets hit by a car.
Then gets hit, and then he takes it to the vet, and they tell him that it didn't make it, which was very depressing as well.
It may not
freaking
even
brutal.
Be the same black cat that got hit by the car that he's been following around. It could, but the idea that it's like a common, you can't tell one black cat from the other because it's just a black cat. So that allows them to do a lot with that.
Yeah, that was so brutal. I agree with just go with the poetic stuff. We should definitely get into like favorite moments and stuff like that, because I like how it sort of ramps up as it goes. I really like the progression. I think that was something I had in my notes. I feel like all the characters progress kind of naturally, and then it just ramps up to like you freaking just dying at the end of the show.
One of my favorite, like, I guess, aspects of it was Tsubaki's character and how she couldn't convey her emotions correctly. So like she was in love with Kosei like
forever.
They've been friends forever. Yeah,
it's the whole childhood friend trope.
Yeah, so she just can't, like, she's very rough and mean, and she's kind of a bully to Kosei, but that's like how she shows her affection, but she can't convey it correctly. And like they're like walking and they're on the beach, and this is when Kosei says that he's moving away to a new school, and she just like fucking drops everything, and she's like, ah! She like starts freaking out and shit. Yeah, and she just runs home. But I like her character a lot.
I really liked her character. That scene, they have so many great like put together scenes, because the scene on the beach, he starts humming like Clair de Lune by Debussy, which is a great piece, and she starts humming it along, and she's just like, I know it because I listen to you play so much. So it's like she knows him so well.
But she
and
hates
also,
music.
Yeah, she hates music, but she just loves Kosei and knows him so well. And a cool thing about that is Clair de Lune it's like about the moon, like something about the moon is the song, and they show that the moon really prominently in that scene. And then when he's playing it at school again after her boyfriend dumps her, and she's sitting next to him, and he's just like, if it doesn't matter if I'm here or not, I guess I'll just stay by your side. That was like,
they repeat that a couple of times.
Yeah, that was nuts.
The star space, like whatever, every time they look at the night sky and it's just like littered with stars, it was always beautiful when they had those little shots. I was looking into a tapestry of, like, for whenever I move out and I get more wall space and I have my own space, I wanted some tapestries of like my favorite animes, and this one popped up with Kosei and Kaori looking at the night sky, and it's just them two, and it's got the beautiful twilight scene, and it's super dope.
That would be dope.
It was just artwork, man. I fucking love watching it. That's why.
Yeah. I mean,
Alex looks miserable.
We haven't heard a lot from Alex.
Listen, I don't want you guys to think like I watched this whole show like hating, like I wanted to like it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like there was stuff that like it kind of like there was like serious topics, like other than like the main thing that's going on that like was barely like kind of explored. Like, for instance, his mother. We kind of assumed that she was like abusive to him, but I think about like episode 9 when you actually see that she is abusive, but like she's still like, I don't know, she's not. She's still treated like she's like not a bad person. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe, but I don't know. That shit is like something that's like real serious to me. And it is serious, and it's like she's still like portrayed as like someone who's like, I don't know,
I get
like a victim almost of her whatever she had going on.
Yeah,
it's bad parenting, and
I'm only slightly confused. I didn't catch what you were trying to say with that.
So like,
yeah, I don't know how to articulate it. If
I'm getting what you're saying, it's like they show that his mom is definitely abusive, but then they sort of just say like, well, by the end of it, it's like, oh, my mom was good, and I'm gonna say goodbye to her, and they don't really delve into the topic enough for you, right? Like, like she's still kind of seen as a good person and everything.
Well,
it did bother me that like it started getting into, oh, you miss her, don't you? And it's like the last scene, you were literally getting beat with a cane, like. But I totally get, like, her motive is just like she wants to give her son like a marketable skill, that way he can survive in the world. But that's not the way to go about it. And she was very much a bad person,
right?
And it kind of turned into, you miss her, don't you? You know, you wish she was here, like, especially with her longtime friend that becomes his mentor. I agree with you. I do think that it kind of spiraled in a weird way, and she was portrayed differently than she was. Because she was a monster. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, she was a piece of shit to him. But
it's interesting.
I think it comes from it. I believe it comes from her not being able to properly cope with her terminal illness, and so she's like she loves Kosei to death, obviously, right? Like right up until like right through when she's beating him. Like that's like she loves him. It's fucked up, and the way like she obviously don't fucking slap your kids around, but like it's the idea that that's her motivation, right? Is to make sure he has something for when you leave him behind, and she is doing such a terrible job of coping with the idea that she won't be there that she resorts to hitting him, and because that's the only way she can figure that she can make him into the human metronome, and to make it so that he actually has this skill and that he can be one of the best.
Every time they like, it's, even though I understand her motivations, I'm completely against the woman. Every time they had like a somber moment with her, like, oh, you miss her, don't, like, I was literally like screaming at this, like, the TV, like, shut the fuck up, like, she was a piece of shit. She should be dead. Fuck her.
Exactly.
I do.
if she doesn't have that terminal illness, she's just a loving mother for the rest of her life. She never would have touched Kosei. She never would have.
And he would have never been a pianist. Like she didn't even want to do that to him.
Yeah,
it was only until she was sick that she started teaching him.
Yeah, it's her own flaws that cause her to do that, but it's not a scenario in which like she wasn't...
yeah, we get all that. What we're saying is like in the anime they don't like we're like Trevor's saying, oh, you miss her, don't you? Like, fuck her.
Yeah,
honestly.
Get out of here with that.
I mean, she was a loving mother for like 10 years. Like you still have that relationship.
But you beat the kid. Like that's the line I draw.
But I think so. He's missed,
her friend is like, you missed her, like that's okay. She literally watched him beat her, like
but like I'm not cool with
that. Here's my thing is, I can't.
Go ahead.
Look,
go ahead.
I kind of agree with you two guys for sure. Like I feel like they should have been less sweet on her at like the ending of that storyline or whatever. But
me too.
Okay. So I think we're mostly in agreement. I think the thing is, I like stuff that can portray really complex things that people might feel. Like that almost struck me as like that was someone's real life. Like you had an abusive mother, but you still miss her. Like people go through that like a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I totally get what you guys are saying, and I pretty much agree. It's just like I don't even need to get into what it reminded me of, but like there's this album, but freaking basically, yeah. I just feel like
Trevor's paying attention now.
Thank you very much. I feel like for the most part they really treated it with complexity, and they showed that she really messed him up in the head.
Yes,
and then
for sure.
But he still had the time where like you're gonna miss your mother regardless, and he could still appreciate the musical skill that she gave him. And I really
to put my sorry, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
For the end, it just made me really like the scene where he was playing the piano and saying goodbye to her, because I thought there was complexity in it. But then I also didn't like the scenes where it was just like, oh yeah, you missed her, and there wasn't much complexity. Yeah.
Well,
another thing
I tried to put
that kind of rubbed me the wrong.
Were you saying, Trevor, real quick?
I tried to put myself in Kosei's shoes, like as a 10-year-old, or whenever she died for him. I think it was like 12.
I think he's like 11 or 12.
11 or something. Yeah.
I tried to put myself in his shoes, like losing a mother. Would I feel bad? Because in that moment, he hated her like to death.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, he wished that she died right to her face. That's what she told him.
Yeah,
that's what he told her. Sorry.
Yep.
So if I was in his shoes, I don't think I'd ever miss that mother. If I'm being completely honest with you, but that's unfair of me to say because I'm 24 and he's 12 in that show. So it's hard not to miss your motherly figure, especially when you grow up and you're lonely.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd ever would.
In that scene, what he's missing and remembering is the times that before she was sick and before she was abusing him. And that's so he misses that degree of separation of like from when she died, and now he can take more of a wholesale look at his mother, like understanding more and stuff like that. And he misses, I think they show the scene of him like going in and curling up and falling asleep under the piano when his mom's playing like that. Like that's what he misses in terms of like missing his mom as a blanket, is like as an adult it becomes, or going into adulthood, it becomes like that abusive relationship could have changed or not existed had she, like I was saying before, not existed had she not started to die. And so his mental image of her, I mean, he has the synopsis I was watching called it mom nom flashbacks, like mom nom flashbacks. So
right.
Mom nom. But anyway, when he sees her in the corner and it's like her faceless figure or whatever.
Mom nom.
But yeah, right. But the mental image of her that he misses is the idea of being able to go in and curl up and like fall asleep to the sound of her playing piano. So that still exists, and like David said, like people do still care deeply about loved ones who are abusive, and that's a whole.
That's a whole trauma thing.
But, but that's I don't think that's what that is. I think it's just him saying, yes, I miss the way it used to be, not getting beat, but having a mother, because now his dad is traveling, and so he lives basically every day alone. So all he has is Tsubaki, but she won't confess her love because she's soft. So
right, so that's, I mean, I feel like
I don't think she. Yeah.
Once
yeah,
you
we
beat
can
me, you're
talk
dead to
about
me. So that's just all I'm saying.
I get it.
That's it.
I
think in
classify
real
her
life-
as
There's certain lines that you just can't cross in my eyes,
Yeah.
at least. So
I mean, of
that's
course,
one
like
of them.
I like from the outside, of course, I agree. It's just like in that situation, I know it would be some crazy stuff that's going on inside you that like they were trying to express, and yeah,
For sure.
But
one thing
Oh,
I
go
want
ahead.
to
yeah,
I kind of wanted to like transition into something else that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. In that, I remember the particular episode. It was towards the end, and it was the one where she at the end she says, "Jose, do you want to like kill yourself with me?"
Yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't get that.
And that, so like when I watched that, when I was on that episode, I threw it on. It was like kind of late. And I'm like, all right, this is the last episode I'm gonna watch. And then she said that at the end, and then I'm like, well, now I have to watch the next episode.
Mhm.
Then she just kind of is like, I was just kidding about that. And then I'm like, what?
yeah.
But he
I
ponders
kinda-
it because he comes back to her and he's like, I can't kill myself with you.
I know. And then I know. But then like they kind
But
of
he
like,
like legitimately thought about it.
yeah.
yeah. But
It's crazy.
I
It's
get,
like-
and I
it's-
kind of
it's-
get that it speaks to her mental state at that time, like where she's trying to put on this facade that she's fine, but
Yeah.
she's dealing with probably all these mental shit going on. But I just kind of found that,
I think it's
like, why would you bring that up?
a Romeo and Juliet nod. In that Romeo and Juliet is directly about two individuals this age who fall so madly in love in the span of like a couple days that they like are ready to die for each other. It's hinting at the immaturity of young love, and that like that's a thing that would be considered even. So
Yeah,
I get why it
You
would
know,
rub you the
but
wrong
to me,
way.
it just kind
I
of
think
hit
it's-
with like a really deep.
I hesitate to call that one
presentation.
realistic. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't hesitate. I'm not going to call that realistic. But it was a device they used, I think, to convey without doing it directly the strength of emotion they have for one another at that point without even having been officially dating.
Yeah, and I definitely get what Alex is saying. It was a weird thing. It actually helped. I watched it in the subbed, and in subbed, she says certain quotes, and they like you can tell they put the sentence in quotes. So for that, when I watched the sub, that was in quotes. She's like, "Do you want to commit double suicide with me?" And it was like quoting from something. So it gave it a slightly different context where I was like, maybe she's not serious, and then it kind of made me understand like maybe she wasn't serious, but Kosei was contemplating it, and it shows they're both kind of just fricked up at the moment, and they went out of the situation. But I also, if I didn't have the quotes, I'd probably feel the same exact way too.
Side note, the dub is great as well as the sub. I didn't watch the sub, but I'm assuming that you guys did. And you guys enjoyed it. The dub is also great if you if you are torn between watching either. You can't really go wrong with either. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with either.
That's dope. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like, well, we sort of got into the main plot thing of the whole show, which is Kaori, her illness.
Yep.
I like how it ties into. This is sort of getting really late in the game, but like when we're talking about his mom, like that was something that hit me super hard because my mom passed when I was really young, and just the feeling like he would just have the flashbacks of being in the hospital, seeing her in the bed, like, and when he saw Kaori, it reminded him of the exact same thing. That was like,
those are fucked up moments.
Yeah, I really felt like a lot of people writing this show or whatever had like genuine experience with this stuff. It was so real and like, dang. And yeah, it bummed me out that like once I realized she had a terminal illness, and I was like, it's really just gonna happen again to him. But that was kind of the thing, was like he was still able to grow and appreciate the time.
Yeah, it happens twice.
Yeah, that's
right.
To him in a span of like 2 years, which sucks.
Remarkably fucking sad. Is like the relationship he had with his mom, and then that deteriorated because of the terminal illness, and then she is now gone. And then, you know, with Kaori, and I guess we can talk about the end of the show now because we're kind of there. When she goes into that operation, and you don't know first watch through if you're gonna get the happily ever after, or if she's just gonna die.
I was on the phone with Rocio watching this, like the last 3 episodes or whatever, like I said, and like I think it's the second to last episode where he does like the grandiose performance, and he's imagining her performing on stage with him.
It's the last
and
one.
she can't make the
very last. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's the episode I rewatched that I cried at again. 4 for 4, baby.
4 for 4. 444. Anyways.
Okay. Just chill
4
out.
for 4 at Wendy's.
Chill out. Chill out.
Wendy's, I was thinking about that. Yeah, you're right.
Anyways, yeah. So like he's doing that performance and she can't make it because obviously she's in the operation, but he still decides he still decides to go through with it. I was talking to Rocio and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Like they're gonna sync it up. Like she's gonna come out of the surgery and he's gonna be on such a high from nailing that concert performance,
Mhm.
and she dies. She just dies,
She
and I was
explodes into light.
I was like, nah.
And blossoms as he pairs the music. I mean, that's the epitome, right? They save the best for last. But the pairing of the music with the animation throughout the show is fucking on perfect as hell. And and the storytelling, but especially in that last scene when there's like the fast parts that they play together, and then the slow parts when different stuff starts happening. And then when she like explodes into light and cherry blossoms, it like speeds up again, and he's talking and saying like "Don't leave me" and all this stuff, and she fades away, and he finishes the piece, and then he's just bawling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought she was gonna live. I got that one wrong.
I wanted her to live so fucking badly, but you gotta every once in a while you gotta just rob yourself of a happy ending, and it just
looking back on it, I wouldn't change it. Like it wouldn't have hit me. It wouldn't have hit me at all. Like the show would have been kind of mid for me if she didn't die.
Me too.
I'm gonna be like totally honest with you.
Yeah,
but the fact that she died, and then like that whole sequence of him just reading the note that she left him and like explaining that "Your lie in April" it was
yeah, he waits. That
like was rough. Months. That was rough.
He doesn't open the letter until it's spring again, because he can't bring himself to do so. They give it to him like after her funeral, and it just
I gotta say about the whole letter thing. I have grown over
another hot take, another shit hot take coming in.
No. Fuck you.
Tell him, Alex.
So over the years, I have grown to really despise the type of storytelling where you have like a character read read something and like that's it, because it's so overused and it's in so much things. And when I heard it, I was like, no, why are they doing this? She's reading the letter, and I'm like, they want you. I just hate I hate that storytelling.
But it worked so well for this one. This in particular.
Yeah. I definitely get where you're coming from. I usually don't like
her voice posthumously as well. It's a letter from the dead.
Yeah, like she's talking. Yeah, like that she knows that she's dead.
And it's what I do with Trevor when he's being dumb and sending his meme shit, and I read it in his voice.
Okay.
And I'm starting to be able to read "dang" in David's voice as well.
Oh my god.
I get it. It's sort of an idea of if the trope annoys you too much and you couldn't really get over it. I totally get that. But for me, it was like I am sort of bored and annoyed with it, but for this show, I thought it worked really well personally. But
I can't really recount like how many times I've seen that in my life, at least. But I don't watch a whole lot of shows or movies, to be honest with you, so it didn't bother me nearly as much.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Still struck a chord with me.
I've seen it plenty of times, but it doesn't bother me at all. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah,
unless a show in and of itself like starts to beat it to death, but I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
How do you guys feel about them dating after, like Tsubaki and Kosei getting together? Is that y'all ship that?
Yeah.
I think that's just rough, because you can then never be Kaori. If you're Tsubaki, you can never be his soulmate. Like they were fucking like destined to be together.
Yeah, she knows that she's like second pick.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
saying. If
saying.
anything, because he wasn't even interested in her until she said her feelings toward him.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I almost think it could be just as good. Thinking in the future of like Kaori, like he loves her so much as like this, like they just met, like Cameron said, Romeo and Juliet. But Tsubaki, maybe it's more of a stable, dependable relationship because they know each other and they know their ins and outs and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, they can still have a really good relationship, I think. But that's just the peak for me is the fact that you just can never be Kaori. Like you wake up every morning knowing that like his soulmate died and you were second choice.
I'm just trying to put myself in her shoes, and that would be really bad.
Wasn't there an episode where she like said do you want to be my boyfriend? And then like the next episode, nothing happened, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess that wasn't
right.
real.
yeah. She was sitting on the piano bench when they were playing, and
Yeah.
she like confesses her feelings, and like she says some tagline, and then it cuts off to the cherry blossoms page, and then it comes
And nothing
back,
happened.
and nothing happened.
Yeah, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah,
I feel like maybe. Well, yeah. I don't know. I
I don't know how
thought.
it is in the dub, but or in the sub, but
I'm glad I
guess-
wasn't the only one that caught that.
I guess I
yeah.
took it as he was just like, oh, I'll let her get her emotions out and I'll ignore it. I don't know. Because like when she says,
Doesn't say nothing.
when she
Yeah,
says
he
towards
didn't
the,
say anything.
yeah, and he says towards the end of it, or she's like, you know, I guess you have no choice but to fall in love with him, and then she like kicks him and runs away. Then he realizes all of a sudden, and it's like he still tries to make it seem like she was joking in his head, but I don't know. I thought it was alright, but I'm glad that something nice happened at least after all
Yeah,
the
for
freaking
sure,
death.
for sure, for sure.
That's
We
I'm
needed
trying to
that.
I'm trying to remember every time I cried, and
I only cried once.
That's
You
I
cried
get
3
that.
times?
It was like 3 times probably. There was or at least I got yeah. There was a time I got close when they're the Firefly scene like in the middle of the show, like the very midpoint
Yeah.
at the end. She's like, "I
That
won't
one
be
was
here
great.
forever, Charlie Brown." I was like, "Bruh." And and then for some reason not for some reason when he goes to her on the hospital roof and she's like playing with the kids like she was at the beginning,
Yeah.
and it just like shows them framed against the sky, and he's like, you know, you gotta play with me one last time. Definitely started tearing up.
I'm not
And
gonna
then-
lie, I was so pissed that she kept calling him friend A the whole time. Like I'm just sitting here thinking he's friend zoned the whole time, and then I'm just like, bruh,
It was
I'm more than
weird.
friend A.
Yeah.
True,
I think it's
true.
a coaching mechanism for herself, so she doesn't let herself, you know, give over her feelings, because she doesn't like, she wants to date him, but knows
Yeah,
she's
but she doesn't
terminal.
let it. Yeah, she doesn't let it happen.
So she doesn't want to,
Yeah.
like, you know, fully. That's why she only confesses her feelings after the fact in the note, and that, you know, her lie in April was that she liked what's his face, Watari.
Watari. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was all a ploy to meet him, and she changed everything for him, and that's the fucking most profoundly sad thing, is when you see the scene. I think it's all the last episode where she's like mini Cowrie, and she somehow is just completely unattended. Her parents aren't there. She's just like walking back. But anyway, she runs back to her parents' pastry shop and says, "I want to play the violin so that I can play with Kosei." Like that's her. That she
Yeah.
switched instruments and became incredibly good at the violin just to play with him, and she never lets that on. She lets it just seem like serendipity that he happens to be, that her accompanist isn't there, and that he's, you know, the best option or whatever.
Mhm.
And
Which
that she
I
keeps on
kinda-
pushing him not only for him but for herself and all that stuff. So
I
Well,
kind
they
of didn't
were-
know how to. I didn't know how to feel about that plot twist. Honestly, it was like I didn't think they needed to have it like she planned it all out and like, oh, you didn't know this the whole time. And I kind of like that they just met and it was dope. But
nah,
Yeah,
It was
I, don't
almost-
think, I don't think it would have fit if, like, I don't think the show would have made sense to be like, at least to me, if she
for it
didn't
to just
plan
be
it out.
happenstance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then, like, I don't know. She knows that she's gonna die. Like, I don't know.
yeah, I thought it was. I don't know. It was almost a flaw to me because it seemed like they were just going for a twist, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think it makes the show. I think it makes it that much more tragic that they were not able to be together
Yeah.
for, you know, their lives.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I
that's like the whole.
I don't
point
think they
of
were
the show.
trying to do a
That's what
plot
drives it
twist
up.
for with sake. I think
Okay.
they just
It's-
try to tie it with a bow.
Yeah, it's always planned. It was the
Yeah.
idea that it was everything was already in motion for, you know, the whole year that they have together, or however long it is. Almost, a year,
Yeah.
I guess, like 9 months or something like that.
Yeah, and I'll say, yeah, that's cool. Because the thing about the show is it hit so hard just because of they built the characters so well. I feel like because
Yes.
one of the other times I started tearing up was, and this speaks to its writing, was just when he's carrying her up the stairs to the hospital and she's like super light and stuff, and he's like, God, I'm such a freaking idiot. This sucks. And they open the door and she's like, oh, snow, and I was like, bruh, that's so Kaori. And I'm like, no. It was really a subtle moment to me, but it was so beautiful, and it really, like, not many shows can hit me in those subtle moments because they just seem like they planned out the writing and hit all the notes so well. And then the last time was the freaking end. I was like, when I cry at shows and stuff, usually it's like a tear, but then when
this was I was bawling. I don't know about you, but I was bawling.
Yeah, when she was gone, I was like,
I was done.
I'm done, dude.
I was dead.
Sorry.
Yeah, I cried for like 15 minutes after the ending of the show. I was so depressed.
Right. Yeah.
It was very heartbreaking.
And another great thing of how they use the music is, do you notice, like, there's that main piano theme that's like the do 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 or whatever? Yeah. I can't do it. Yep. Like, they play, and then when she,
I love
yeah, and when she passes away and they show like the spring or like the first scene without her alive, they play that but in violin. I thought that was super nice touch. Like, I think like at that point I was like,
speaking of the music, the intro. The intro track.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck me, brother.
When I rewatched it, I was watching it on my computer speakers, and I actively got up, went over to my Xbox, unhooked my headset, and put on my headset to fucking full volume, and I was dancing around my room. I fucking love that intro, dude. That shit bangs.
For real.
That hook is unfucking
It's so
fathomable.
fucking good. And the animation of the intro as well is super nice and pretty and all that stuff. So, yeah, man.
They're naked in a certain part of it, and I'm just like...
Yeah, but they're sexless when they're naked. Is that there's
true?
She had tits. No, she had tits.
She had bumps, but it's just like
she had tits.
Bumps.
But she was the stick anyway, so
they weren't doing it to do that.
It was just so random. Like I just see them naked as fuck.
It was like weird at first. Yeah, I know, because I was like, oh no, anime again. But then I was like,
they're just anime.
Looking behind you, seeing if the FBI is coming in.
Yeah, like my FBI agent's just like
yeah.
I
just got used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to that track more though. That was dope. The second one was good too, but that first one,
I don't even remember the second.
I get it. Yeah,
I was like literally. I remember being upset basically every time I watch it when it changes over, because that's one of the when we talk about like whether or not you skip through the whether or not you skip through the intro every time you watch it, and that's one that I did that on purpose. Fuck off. Oh my god, Trevor.
Okay.
So weird. Whether or not you skip through, and that's one of the ones that I watch every time, for sure.
It's better than the Demon Slayer intro for me.
Wow.
I agree.
Is that your favorite?
That song, yeah, that song is better.
I'm glad you said that, because if you didn't, I was going to.
Wow.
Speaking of
not
if
that
it's
it was
better
than Demon Slayer, but bringing it up in general.
Give me your rating. Where do you guys put the show?
I wanted to talk about if we had any other scenes, because there was a couple scenes that I wanted to mention that I liked a lot.
I'm good on the show.
Every performance scene was amazing to me, and they hit different notes. I'll say the last performance was probably one of my favorite scenes in anime. I thought it was incredible. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Personally, if people didn't like it, that's totally fine, but I loved it.
It was beautiful.
Cool.
Alex, anything? I don't think so.
I don't know. I felt like that. You know how they kind of presented his rival sort of in the blonde dude and the other chick. I forget what her name was.
I think it's Emmy, and I forget the guy's name.
Kind of seemed like they had like a whole arc where they were just like playing for themselves. They're like, I'm gonna beat Kosei, and then they realize Kosei's not really into it as they thought. But then they're like, I still won.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, that does nothing that didn't do much for the main story.
But okay,
it's an offshoot to show the culture.
And I like those characters. And I'll actually say, maybe I'm just soft at this point, but I almost cried at a scene with them when they
fuck out of here.
No, listen.
No, don't get the fuck out of here, David. Keep talking.
I didn't quite, but I almost did. When they like after they like make friends and they realize they're just normal human beings, I thought that was a nice moment. I thought that was kind of the whole point of having them. And then when before the last performance, when she's walking back and she's like whatever, and then you just see her cross the hallway and the dude is like sitting there over Kosei, like comforting him, like what's wrong? And I was like, that's so nice. Like everyone in the show is like actual human beings.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. They write them like people, not just like characters. Like no one is completely adherent to just their trope or whatever. Like you said, like the pervy guy trope or whatever was like part of Watsuri's personality, but he was written like a human being, so he ends up coming off as just like a ladies' man and all that stuff, and like being respectable about it.
Yeah.
What about when the blonde kid's mentor was like, "All right, you got to offer from. You're gonna go to perform in Germany." He's like, "I don't want to perform in Germany."
I want
Kosei might be playing.
Big Kosei, man.
Might be playing this year. He
He
hasn't
just
played the last 2
wastes-
years, but this
He just
year he might
wastes his
come back.
time. Yeah, he just wastes his time.
All right, that's a little obsessive.
Homie's hair was crazy.
Yeah, he was
It
popping
was,
off.
bro, it
It
looked
was
like
dope,
this,
man.
like a Christmas tree.
I like to
Yeah.
say it. Yeah. It was looking sick.
It was lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like a damn Saiyan.
He wants to. Yeah, he had that anime hair.
Cyan.
Cyan.
Remember when I did that?
Yeah, he's a blue, bro.
He's a super blue.
He's a blue guy.
Yeah.
He's a Smurf.
Yeah. So.
If that was it. But I think one of my favorite scenes in the show is very early on when he's not in terms of emotion or whatever, but just or I guess before I go scene by scene, I wanted to say, like, I love the way that the show does their balance between, because I have gone on and on already about how every frame is artwork and stuff like that, but they do still have like simple animation style drawings, especially when like she's mad at him or whatever, and they break scene, and they have like the effects and everything, and every time she fucking hits him, and like there's the one, like,
my man Kosei bled like several times in the show. Like
out,
he
bro.
just gets headbutted.
Episode
like,
1, he gets sauced by the baseball. Like later on,
he had like several concussions.
Softball?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's
True.
in it. I think it's a baseball, isn't it?
No, she plays softball.
I mean,
I
she
think.
plays softball, but it's drawn like a baseball. I don't know. I guess maybe the softballs in Japan aren't big and yellow like they are here.
And they were pitching underhanded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is softball.
Anyway,
Different.
and that's the second time she's broken the window or whatever. They set up the dynamic of their friendship and like who they are within the school very, very quickly within episode 1, which was, they wasted no time with that, so that they could actually get to the storytelling and stuff like that. And obviously they do flashbacks and stuff like that, but that's largely for parallelism, like when
Doo-doo.
I also hate good storytelling, bro.
You said doo-doo. That's why I'm being a child.
Oh, they do that. Okay, that's what I said. All right. I thought you were calling the flashback scenes shit or something. I was like,
No.
what the hell? But yeah,
You
they
said
do that
poopy.
to create parallelism and stuff like that. Like with whatever it was, Tsubaki carrying home Kosei, and then he does the same thing when she gets her leg broken, all that stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, I think they do the simple animation really, really well, and the like super expressive like face drawings and stuff like that. And then they switched right back to Trevor. I wrote this down. How'd you feel about the lips?
Oh, I hated them.
You hated them again?
I hated them. No, I hated them. They didn't even have a top lip. It was a shadow.
Not really.
I was like, bruh. Dude, I said this to Rocio,
Really?
and she's like, oh, I think the lips are great. You're wrong.
I thought the noses were
Rocio,
weird.
you're right.
And Rocio's wrong, as usual.
Oh God.
Wow.
Good luck. Good luck, bud.
Good luck.
But
She doesn't listen.
I mean,
She doesn't
earlier
listen.
she doesn't what?
She doesn't listen, so.
Yeah,
No, you're safe.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you went on and on earlier about how she opened your heart, so I think you're okay this episode. I think you can
Just a little bit.
You can get a couple shots.
Yeah,
in,
I only mention her in loving ways every fucking time.
every episode. Yeah, so that's that. So yeah, but like he just keeps taking hits, like when she discovers him on the roof when he's supposed to be her accompanist, and she just like goes all the way out and then does the slow walk, and then like speeds up and then just fucking like destroys him. And like you said, when he was just sitting on the bench like not ready to play, and she headbutts him again, and she headbutts him so hard that everyone comes out of the rooms and they're like, what the fuck was that? She's just standing there like, you good now? And it's like, yeah. But one of my favorite scenes in the show, now that I've covered my bases in general, is the I think it's only like episode 3 when they're in the shop and they have the piano and the little kids are like trying to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and she's like giving them the death glare, is like, go play with the kids, you little shit, like. And
Yeah, I forgot about this.
initially, and so he does that.
I can't be the only one that sung along to that, right? Y'all sung along too?
Yeah,
What?
No.
in my head.
Twinkle,
maybe-
Twinkle,
maybe
Little
not out
Star?
loud, but
Oh,
No, I did it out loud.
Maybe a
Is
little
it-
bit.
My
you'd
mom
actually-
sung that to me when I was a kid, so that's why.
You would probably laugh if you go back and watch that scene in the sub, because she sings it in English, but she's like as you do when it's not your native language. She has like the heavy accent.
it's
she's
Japanese
not-
English.
Japanese English, yeah.
I love Japanese
so
English.
she sings the words in English, but it's like heavily accented. So it's if I assume it's just like completely fine in the sub, obviously, because it's already English. So
So great.
so if you go back, you'd probably laugh at that. But he just like they sing like the simple melody, and then his muscle memory takes over at the end, and he just like starts popping off and playing like the OG Mozart version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and everyone in the shop is just like, oh, he's popping off here. I thought that was a really cool early moment to show, you know, his true talent and what he can be if he can get over his whole trauma and everything. And then they have the Courage Bridge scene where she's waiting for him. And she's like, she makes it seem like happenstance, and then the two little girls are just like, she said she was waiting for someone, and she's like, shut the fuck up. Like,
they were funny.
Like, don't give me away.
The little kids were so cute. Funny,
the little kids in every scene that they're in are cute as hell. Yeah. And so they have that whole scene where she ends up jumping off, and then he has like crosses that bridge as well, and has like that moment of taking the leap of faith, and that's like another visual metaphor for him finally choosing to go off the Courage Bridge as opposed to Tsubaki throwing him off or whatever it was. And then he's like underwater for a second, and she's like, shit, he's not coming up, and then she finally does, and then they laugh, and
it's David.
That was
he just
insanely...
can't swim.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, frick me.
Kosei died.
When we're all in the same place and we start the Unboxing Life vlog channel, we'll David being taught to swim will be one of them.
The whole series.
Look forward to that.
We'll definitely film him trying to swim.
Water box episodes or whatever.
Water box. The many
TM.
boxes of life. Am I right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was super cute. And then obviously, I mean, we already talked about all the ones in the back half of the scene. All the scenes in the back half of the show. Especially that last one, like I said, that last performance where she's there in like ghost form, essentially, playing with him, just like 4 for 4 for just like tears down my face. In terms of like how crying, however frequently or whatever, I would tear up, like get watery, like a lot. But yeah, I only actually bawl like however many times, probably on par with David.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely that show gets the fucking waterworks going, and that's why I was so glad that you guys brought this up. Like, this is, I mean, we're about to give it a rating, I guess, once I'm done lecturing, I guess. But I was so glad that you guys brought this show up, because I've tried to I've made the mistake of introducing people to this show before and talking about how profoundly sad it is and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it'll make you cry, it's super sad. But like, that's a terrible way to recommend this show, because it basically gives away the ending, in my opinion. It's like, you'll
don't,
like, it's super
definitely
sad.
don't.
It's a super sad show, all that stuff. And so like, you get like 10 episodes in, and it's just like Kosei like gaining his piano abilities back, and like everyone's great.
It's just
friends,
slice of life, yeah,
going
like,
on, and
for
it's
a
just
while.
slice of life. And you're like, and if you recommend like me, make the mistake of recommending the show to someone by saying like, oh yeah, it's super sad, it'll make you cry, whatever, it's like the saddest thing I've ever watched. They get that far in, and they're like, okay, where the fuck does this go wrong? Like, where does it?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys were like, okay, this is the one we're gonna do, without me even, really trying to push it that way. I didn't have a lie in April that fixed this situation. It just happened. So yeah, I'm really glad about that. A lie in December, anyway.
A lie in December. It was a great context to watch it under.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys know nothing going in.
So what do
was
y'all?
a cool show.
I'll go
ratings?
last.
Yeah. Okay, Alex. I guess.
Go ahead. You gave us a spiel. Go ahead.
No,
Alex,
I'll go last because you know what I'm gonna give it already. So
maybe.
Like
Alex,
a 5.
Okay. Well, it's not. It's.
Wow.
I mean, I completely I disagree so hard, but
That's why you got your rating, right?
yeah, exactly. And you have an average. I totally respect it.
Oh,
It wasn't your thing. Okay.
Damn, a 5? I thought he was gonna give it at least a 6.
I think if you took the characters out and made them completely two-dimensional and dog shit, and just left the music and the artwork and stuff like that, it would already be like a 6. Just off of like without good characters.
I'm being wild.
It has a little something for everybody.
Well, not a 6. Maybe,
Oh my god,
maybe it would be a 5.
Good
it really
job,
makes you
good
feel
job.
like a classic pianist.
Yeah.
All right, David.
I give this a 9 out of 10. I thought this was a top 10 contender. Honestly, I thought it was amazing. I mean, if you like shows that maybe have like different cool places they go to, it's not for you. You know, they go to like the same 4 places all the show, and
Yeah, before I forget, like that was one of my biggest gripes about it, was that every concert was in the same hall. Didn't look different at all.
It is an actual place though, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But for watching it over and over,
is actually like the music hall in that region of Japan. So,
but seeing it over and over again was a little
just for for visual purposes, it was like it got a little bit boring or something. But it was basically just that. I didn't know how to feel about the twist at first. Whatever. But it's not a super rewatchable show. I guess that maybe takes away a little bit, but. Yeah, super emotionally impactful.
Cameron at 3 would wholly disagree.
That being said, I did have like 2 years between rewatches each time, so it's still like I forget like the little things and get to re-experience a lot of the stuff that I love about the show again. Like it's new, as opposed, or like being like, oh, I remember this only because I'm watching it, as opposed to being able to think about it in my head. So I wouldn't call it super rewatchable. I don't disagree with that assessment. It's just that I had a lot of time between rewatches.
Beautiful poetry, music, amazing. Trevor.
So, before the last 3 episodes, it was a 7 for me. I had already put it in my anime list. I was like, I like the show, not hitting me like it should. I know I'm a weirdo for not liking the musical performances, given that my entire personality lies around listening to music.
Yeah, that is fucking bizarre.
So before that, it was about a 7, and then I bumped it up to an 8, and then I watched the last episode, and I bumped it up to a 9 after I was done crying. And I was like, dude, this is a very good show. This was incredibly powerful. Even if I had just if I just knew what happened and I only watched the last 3 episodes, it would still be a 9. Like, I don't have to watch anything else. Just tell me what happens, and I'll watch the last 3, and I'll still cry. So, that was an incredible experience, and I'm very thankful for watching it. It was 9 out of 10.
Awesome.
And I am, with this rating, going to preview one of the episodes we're doing next week, which is top 10 anime of all time, because this will make an appearance in my top 3. I don't know exactly where, but it's top 3 for me. It's a 10 out of 10 because I just fucking adore the show. I love the show to death. I love the characters. I love the music. I love the artwork. I love the storytelling. I love the simple shit they do, the slapstick violence, all that stuff. I think it's funny at times. It's charming all the time, and it just rips your fucking heart out at the end. And it's like having a show like make me feel that much, like that strongly about it, was just like, this is profound, this is incredible, this is entertainment, this is like what tragedy is meant to make you feel. And it fired on all cylinders. It hit every mark. It's a 10 out of 10.
Dope.
That's awesome, man.
It's my birthday.
10-10.
Okay, 10-10. Yep.
Slowly doxing ourselves. Although I guess we will be doing more.
Cut that out. Yeah, actually cut that out.
All right.
Cut that shit out, please.
All right.
I'll just beat it.
No, please don't do that.
So we should talk about the anime we're watching next. I can't remember if we mentioned it, but we're doing. We already mentioned we're listening.
We're doing a shooter.
Doing.
They shoot things.
I don't know.
Oh boy, beep boop bop.
Man. Cowboy Bebop, everybody.
I know. Not wait to get to the bottom of what the name is, because I always thought it was like the silliest sounding thing ever, and then I come to find out that it's an insanely high rated anime. So,
because I'm the only one who's seen the show, right?
I believe so.
Yep. This will be interesting. Yeah, we're doing
streaming on Hulu right now, so I think sub and dub are both on Hulu, which is pretty nice.
Animation, nice. Yeah, we're doing Wu-Tang too, so it'll be a cool '90s week, I think. With like Wu-Tang was one of the most classic hip hop albums, but Cowboy Bebop is like one of the most classic anime ever. They're both from the '90s. It'll be interesting to see you guys take on it. I'm
excited to watch it. I haven't started it yet, so that'll be my 10th anime.
There we
go.
Nice,
a good one. A great one.
Just
10
enough to
anime
make a top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've basically seen more than one show a month, like since we started watching, which is pretty dope. To
Yeah,
think
dude.
about.
This is
That is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, look forward to that, everybody. And with
lit.
that, we bid you adieu. Thank you so much for listening. And it's been it's been so real. It's
Oh, it's been
Just,
surreal.
surreal. Yeah, man. Amazing.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I love
Yeah.
everybody. Have fun during this time.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Happy holidays. Enjoy your time out there. Stay safe. Ideally, I know you don't need to hear this from us, but try not to get together in big groups. We don't want to turn Christmas into. Make sure Grandma's around for next Christmas, is what I'll say.
Facts. I'll
Yeah.
definitely
Celebrate
echo
safely.
that as well.
Adios.
Definitely.
Yeah, stay safe. Enjoy family while you got them. It's a very cruel world. You gotta find some beauty in it. So yeah. Peace out, baby.